Pictures on your camera roll, angle just too right. Look at me, this is my life. Follow me, this is showtime.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling, the Tuck Your Chin podcast. And today we have a huge episode. First, I'm going to bring in my co-host, like usual, my man Julian.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? What's up? And then we have a big special guest this week from Creative Pro Wrestling, Mr. Nick Stapp.
Hello, how's it going?
Amazing, man. Amazing. So let's just get right into questions, I guess. So I'll start. When did you decide you wanted to be a wrestler?
When I was a child, I decided it, and then it took me a long time to kind of pull the trigger on it. But yeah, I think I started getting into it when I was like 6 or 7, and then I did a little backyard wrestling when I was younger, and then I stopped because backyard wrestling isn't really like a career necessarily. It wasn't at the time anyway. And then I started actually training in like 2013.
Okay. Julian, go for it, man.
Should I ask the question?
The question, go for it, man. Hit him with it.
The questions of questions. Mr. Nick Stapp. There are a lot of wrestling moves in the world, and some good, some bad. I want to ask you about a bad finishing move, in my opinion. What is your opinion on the overdrive?
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna assume someone told you to ask me this. And my opinion on the overdrive is that it's a movie you could. It doesn't physically make a lot of sense, but it looks cool, kinda, and like you could just hit it out of nowhere. So like, I think the overdrive is going to be the Canadian Destroyer of 2021 when wrestling is really up and running again. That's my opinion. The overdrive is going to be the new move that everyone does. You're going to see guys doing overdrives into like thumbtacks and like scorpion tank. Overdrive is going to be the new thing. Watch. Mark my words.
Is Nick Stapp going to take the overdrive?
What's that?
Are you going to use the overdrive, maybe?
Of course I am. I mean, I'll wait a little while. I'll wait until, I'll wait until the growing pains get out of the way, so I can kind of like see, the angles that guys are doing it at, and if it's getting, the reaction, and then I'll find the ultimate trap to get someone into an overdrive to get, get a good gif out of it.
Yeah. Hey, you heard it here first. Nick Stapp overdrive 2021. Yeah. So, who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
I liked Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Mick Foley, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Steve Blackman, like British Bulldog. I don't know. I had a pretty wide array of guys. Like X-Pac, I was a really big fan of when I was a kid. Like Shawn Michaels. Yeah, I had a weird taste, though, is that, like, of course I like the guys who were good, but then I also always had a soft spot for guys like, again, like Steve Blackman, like Al Snow, and, like, the guys who were, like, never quite, like, world champions, but were just always on TV every week, or always having, like, these cool, like, under-the-radar matches that nobody was ever really talking about. So that kind of explains my, when I'll tweet about like Ahmed Johnson and stuff like that, because like I loved Ahmed Johnson. He was the man when I was a kid, but he kind of like faded away very quickly. So that's an example of like a guy who I hold a flame for many years later, despite the fact that he never quite reached that potential that he probably had.
Yeah. Julian, if you want to go back and forth, you want me to keep going?
Keep going because I got nothing.
Overdrive is where there's a beginning and end.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Bear Bronson actually asked me, did someone tell you to ask me that?
No, it just... he always asks every wrestler that comes on about the overdrive. It's just his thing. Oh, you forgot the second part of the question too, Julian.
Oh, wait. About Fortune 4?
Oh, sure.
Oh, God. Do I run? I don't think we need to talk about the Fortune 4 today, dude. I don't feel like
Nick Stapp, do you want to talk about the Fortune 4?
What is the Fortune 4? I'm a little...
Wait, I'll tell you. It's, it was this faction in TNA. It was a horrible faction. And,
okay, I remember now. Who was in it, though? Because that was a time period I wasn't really watching TNA a lot.
AJ, James Storm, Robert Roode, and Kazarian.
Yes. I kind of remember, yeah.
Fortune 4! Yeah.
I think TNA had a lot of... They had, the concepts of good ideas, but then the actual execution would sometimes be a little flawed. But, I think TNA definitely had a lot of... again, like, the embryos of a lot of good ideas, but not necessarily the final execution of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, their match types were sort of weird. I mean, like, the Asylum match I did enjoy, but, like, then they had the King of the Mountain where you hang a tile up on the... it was this cage match that turned into a ladder match.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. I guess, like, they were just trying anything new that wasn't being done on, WWE, which, like, I give them credit for, but, sometimes if it takes longer to explain the match than it does to actually have the match, that's probably, like, bad right away.
Yeah. Yeah. So what got you into wrestling? Like, the wrestling itself, not the business, like on TV and all that stuff.
So like the first wrestling thing I ever laid my eyes on was a Papa Shango vignette. I have like a very vivid memory of it for some reason. That was like the first wrestling thing I ever ever watched, like, and remember, and like absorbed it.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was just like the big characters, like Undertaker and like Giant Gonzalez and Kamala and like all like the weird kind of like spooky characters. And then I actually started watching the wrestling, and I was like, oh, okay, like, like Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and like Piper and all those guys. Like that kind of like took over, because then I was like, oh, these guys are like, like the Kamalas and all these guys are like terrifying, but like all these cool guys are gonna beat them up. So like that's kind of what kept me in on it.
Yeah. If you could change anything about the wrestling industry, what would it be?
Well, right now?
Yeah, sure, right now and then in general.
More overdrives. No, I guess, like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, little things that I would probably change. Like, I kind of wish, like, TV wrestling, like, the matches were a little shorter and there was more, because I feel like both companies have so many people that they can dedicate time to, and I feel like when you have like a 30-minute, like every match every week is 20-25 minutes long, and then you have all these other guys who are like sitting there doing nothing and like wasting their potential, and you're paying them, like, maybe just dedicate a little more time to them, and don't just like throw them on a YouTube show, you know what I mean? Like, again, like WWE has like roughly 4,000 wrestlers under contract. AEW has like 50 or 60 people. I mean, obviously right now it's different, but even before now, it was still every week it was like 30-40 minute match. It's like, yeah, we have all these people sitting around doing nothing, and you could have like something cool with them, some sort of thing that you wouldn't have discovered otherwise, because you're having 20-30 minute matches with people you see every week. So, like, the fans don't get tired of seeing the same people every week. I don't know. That's like the first thing that comes to mind. There's a million other things I could think of, but that's a big thing for me. when I watch TV wrestling as a viewer, I'm like, like they're good wrestlers, but I don't need to watch them wrestle for 20 minutes every week. Like that's what pay-per-views are for. That's what SummerSlam is for. That's what WrestleMania is for. Every week there's a 20-minute match, it kind of takes away the special 20-minute match at SummerSlam, for instance.
So what recently has, like, done that to you? Was it, like, the Rollins-McIntyre matches on Raw?
Yeah, again, it's like every week. I mean, like, I haven't really been watching a lot week to week lately just because, like, honestly, it's hard to watch wrestling with no crowd.
Yeah.
It gets a little depressing after a while, especially knowing, physically what it feels like when you're doing all this crazy shit and there's no people there to react. So there's no adrenaline, there's no like rush to it. You're just like, it's just like having a practice match. Like there's no, it's like going in for, it's like literally just walking into a gym and like you start throwing up weights and you don't like stretch or like warm up. You don't have music on. You just like, all right, I'm gonna go work out now, like with my jeans on. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's very weird. It like doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. I don't know, but yeah, everything I've watched recently has been again like just a lot of long matches, and like especially when that there's a lot of people with a lot of potential sitting in the back doing nothing and not doing any, like they're not contributing to the show. That's like kind of a it's just there's a lot that can be done there that isn't being explored for some reason.
Yeah, man, I agree definitely with you. It's just like, it gets boring seeing like the same matches over and over again every week, at least for WWE. But AEW's been doing okay with the no crowd factor, I think, definitely. But who knows?
Yeah, at least they jumped on it a little earlier, thankfully. So like it's a little more bearable. Yeah. But yeah, still kind of hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah, man. So what is your favorite wrestling moment and event of all time?
Moment. I guess the first one that usually comes to mind is like the first time Austin won the title at WrestleMania 14. That was like such a cool moment for me as a kid. Even though I didn't actually watch it live, I went to my friend's house to watch WrestleMania 14, and Undertaker and Kane were the second to last match of the night before Austin and Michaels. Yep. And I was at my friend's house 2 blocks away from my house, and my mom called me and said, "Come home now, it's really late." So I actually missed like the coolest moment ever. But yeah, like that's a cool moment. My favorite event or like show. So this is, I guess for like WWF, WWE, whatever. WrestleMania 17 was great, and as far as a show I saw in person, and still very special to me would be ROH. It's very strange. ROH Final Battle 2008. My brother and I were sitting second row, and it was just like all the storylines that were going into the show were kind of like tied up that night, and it was a really cool moment.
Oh, yeah, I gotta check out a Final Battle eventually. It's here in NY, so.
That one, 2007, 2008 were great. I haven't seen, I think I watched like 2011 or something like that. Yeah. But like after, this is going to sound like very cliche, but like after like Daniel Bryan and like Nigel McGuinness and a lot of guys started leaving Ring of Honor, I stopped going to the shows as much, and then I started wrestling, so I wouldn't be going to the shows anyway, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you have any dream matches? WWE, AEW, Indies, past, present, future, all that fun stuff.
What, for me to wrestle someone, or like someone
for you to wrestle?
I mean, completely delusional. It'll never happen because of like obvious reasons. But like I'd love like wrestling. Like if I could wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin circa 1999, like in a WWF ring, like business is through the roof. Yeah, like that would be like WrestleMania. Like that would be my dream. Like that would be my ultimate dream match, to wrestle like the biggest wrestler of all time in like the best time period to be like into wrestling. As far as like guys I want to wrestle, like I had a triple threat match with Nick Gage a few months ago, right before we stopped wrestling. and I would like to have another one with him because I feel like it was fun, but it was, I don't know. I'd like to have a singles match with him. I wrestled MJF a million times. I'd love to wrestle him again. And again, that probably won't happen, but I would love to have another match with him because or at least I think I'm a lot better than I was the first million times we wrestled. Who else? I don't know. There's a lot of guys. It's like, I'd like to wrestle like Anthony Green. I mean, I've wrestled him before in like multi-man matches, but like I'd love to have another match with him.
Orange Cassidy?
I was in a multi-man match with Orange Cassidy a few years ago, and I didn't know the gimmick going into it. I just knew him as the other gimmick that he does. I don't know if it's that's like common knowledge. The
Luchador one?
Yeah.
Yep.
I only knew him as that. I didn't even know he was Orange Cassidy because I hadn't really seen a lot of it. So like when he showed up, he's like, "Oh yeah, like we were like putting the stuff together," and I was like, what is he talking about? And then we actually went out there with like our gear on. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. I should have known. And so I kind of like regret not really knowing what I was getting myself into because I probably could have had a lot of better ideas instead of not really understanding what was going on, sort of thing. Dan Moff is another one I'd love to have a match with. I was supposed to wrestle him right before, or like around the time that he was going to Ring of Honor. I was going to be wrestling him, but things happened. So
yeah, we interviewed Dan Moff, down to earth guy. Love that dude.
Yeah, he's great. It's great. I had a tag match with him last year.
Yep.
But I just kind of like treated it like a singles match with him because I just wanted to do. Because I had been given advance notice that I was going to be wrestling him eventually, which again never actually happened. But I was kind of like test driving all of his things that he does, and I was like, all right, I'm ready for this. But yeah, it just never happened, unfortunately. So
yeah, man. Definitely.
I would have hit him fucking sick overdrive though.
Julian, go for it, man. If you got anything. Just let me know.
You go. I suck at this.
Hey, there's one question that's going to be next.
Julian, I have a question for you. Where do you get your questions from?
My head.
Oh. You should have a format, bro. You should have a format.
I got a notepad right here. I got my notepad.
Yeah, Mike is the notepad and stuff like that.
Go for it, man. I mean, you want to just give him the other question, the one with the last name?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do this.
Oh, we're gonna do this right now.
We're hot shotting this.
Oh, we're doing it.
Yeah, the most unprepared interview ever.
Hit him with it, Julian.
So, your name is Nick Stapp, correct?
Yes.
So, do you know the band Creed?
Who's that?
The band Creed.
Band Creed.
Oh,
like the movie Creed?
Julian, you're making it. Oh no, Julian, just stop.
Yes, I know who Creed is. They're one of my favorite bands. Yes, I'm aware.
Is it? How does it feel to have the same last name as Scott Stapp?
I mean, I don't call him Uncle Scott for nothing. I mean, he's the best. He's got his life together. He's doing good now. I mean, I tweet him every so often. He'll like it. He doesn't want to blow up the spot. He doesn't want people to think we're like creepy uncle nephew relationship. So he keeps his distance, but he's a fine egg. He's a fine egg, that Uncle Scott.
I mean, do you got a good Uncle Scott impression?
I mean, yeah, I try not to. I don't know. I try not to boast that, flaunt that around. I don't want people to get jealous or, be like, someone knows how to, imitate his uncle. But I don't know. Like sometimes, it's funny. Like sometimes when I'm getting ready for a match and I'm missing that motivation. I'll just kind of like slowly say to myself like, "Hello, my friend, we'll meet again. Oh, where should we begin?" You know, like something like that. It just kind of like gets me going, you know. And then like when I come out, when I go out there, I'm like, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's fucking Dick Stapp," and I'm like, "When you are with me," you know. It's just it's a connection we all have together.
Yeah.
That's
Hashtag Creed every day. Something
Yeah,
like
exactly. Who doesn't?
that. Yeah.
Where arms wide open.
Yeah, that's when I'm going to give Uncle Scott a hug, is when I'll sing that to him and he'll get all bashful about it. And I'm like, "Come on, that's your song, man."
How about like when you do like a suicide dive? What do you do there? Like my own praising or something like that?
Hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the air. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, let's move on to the next question. So, when you first started, or either now, do you get anxiety in front of a crowd, or like right before you walk out, like right by the curtain?
I get more anxiety before the match usually than I do like while it's happening.
Yeah.
But I'm always anxious, so it's not really like a new thing for me. I'm just anxious in general in like everyday life. Yeah, I usually get pretty anxious beforehand, and that's why I have to sing songs to myself to kind of get myself more, you know, hyped than anxious, because anxiety kind of drains you as a person, and you know, it just kind of makes you feel, it saps you of all your positive energy. So you need to expel those demons with some hits from the late 90s, you know.
Absolutely.
That's the way to go.
Exactly. I think if more people sang Creed to themselves on a regular basis, the world would be a lot better.
Hey,
That's
Scott,
just fine.
Mr.
Just
Stapp,
being higher.
do you have any?
What was that?
Do you have a message to all the people out there who aren't a Creed fan? I mean, they might be listening.
I mean, like, what do you have to lose? I mean, honestly, the first time, like, I'm not religious at all. Like, I'm not really a religious guy, you know. But the first time I listened to my own prison, the album,
I saw Jesus.
I kind of felt it. I kind of felt the big J running through me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm not gonna tell you tales out of school. Like, I felt a very a big energy running through me, a very celestial energy running through me, and like, honestly, that had to have been Jesus. What else would it be besides Uncle Scott? You know, because he told me he was going to be good. He's like, "It's all right." I was like, "Bro, come on, give me an advance copy." And I listened to it. I was like, "Brother, Jesus, all about Jesus." I haven't converted. Like, I'm not, you know, I didn't start going to church the next day. But if I did, I would know why, and it would be 20 odd years later. But I would know, like, all right, this album, this music was heaven sent, and it was meant to lead me on a path to, you know, right self-righteousness or whatever that's supposed to be.
Hey, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. What's your favorite match you wrestled so far? If you don't have a top 5, maybe. How about you versus Evil Kip? All those matches are like amazing.
Those are fun. I mean, like, I had to be around Kip, so that kind of sucked. But
hopefully Kip's not watching this. We just interviewed him.
He's not gonna watch it. No, but the dog collar match was fine. I mean, it was painful, but you know, it was a fine match. I want to say I had a match with EC3 in like 2015. It was one of my first singles matches. That was a really fun match. I wrestled Grado a few years ago. That was a lot of fun. I wrestled one match I had with Bobby Orlando it was about a year ago, give or take. We had a Bobby Jr. and a pole match.
Oh, I remember that.
God.
and that was a very fun match. I don't know. I just like it's hard for me to pinpoint that sort of thing because I find as much as I kind of doubt myself sometimes on my abilities, and I'll kind of hate myself after certain matches. I'll usually 93% of the time I'll take away some sort of positives to it. So I don't know. Like every match is kind of a different experience for me. You know, like even if I didn't love the whole thing, I'll find one thing and I'll be like, all right, that was cool though. Like I can, you know, that's something I would put in a highlight video. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I guess and like any time I wrestled like Bobby or like Max Caster or you know, like, again, there's people I enjoy working with. I had fun matches like Casanova Valentine a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
It's a weird pairing, but they were fun matches. So yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any hobbies outside of wrestling?
I'm a big baseball stat. I mean, I love baseball, but the stats are also like a big thing for me.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not happening right now, so I can't do anything about that. Big music fan, obviously, that runs in the family. I haven't in a long time, unfortunately, but just because I've been busy. But I used to read a lot, and I used to read a lot of like history, like true crime and stuff like that. Again, I unfortunately have not read in quite a while, just because of like schedule and stuff like that. But yeah, and I like stand-up comedy sometimes. Not as much as I used to, but I used to be really, really big into that. I even considered trying improv or like stand-up, but then again, like that's a time-consuming thing, so I never did it. But
yeah,
I don't know. My main things outside of wrestling are like baseball, music. Those are my big things. And again, I have other things that I like less, but almost as much.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll talk about music after we got all the questions knocked out of the way, because that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Where did you first train? Was it Creative Pro or was it somewhere else?
So I dabbled at a few other like one or two other places before, but yeah, ultimately I ended up originally I trained with Pat in New Jersey before Creative Pro ever opened. I trained with Pat at Rahway, and then eventually, once I realized that I could just drive to Creative Pro in a half hour instead of taking a 2-hour train ride to New Jersey every week, I just started doing that, and it's been a great relief for me and my bank account and my sanity. So
yeah, that's the way to go, I guess. Save money. So this is a good one. Just lay it out on us. How did you come up with the name Nick Stapp? I may have an idea with a Nick Stapp. How about CPA?
So CPA was when I first started. Well, when I was going to be in my first match, it was like a battle royal thing.
Yeah.
And I had a few other ideas, but my friend presented me with a funny idea. He was like, "Oh, you're like." So the conception of the gimmick was that I was frozen cryogenically in 1986, and I was brought back in 2013 to like kind of like ruin wrestling because like nobody pays their taxes and et cetera, et cetera. It didn't really end up going that way. Obviously, it ended up going more in like just an awkward guy like trying to wrestle direction, which is again like what you guys probably seen multiple times. So yeah, like that was like again, the original thing was my friend's idea, and then I just kind of added my own flavors to it, and it became what it became, and it just evolved over time as much as it could.
Yeah. And Nick Stapp, was it just because of Scott Stapp?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I just gotta carry the family name.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can be as big a star as Scott one day.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. The eventual goals. Where would you rather go? WWE, AEW?
Anywhere?
I mean, like if WCW came back, I'd rather go there. I don't know. I don't like getting signed. For me, I mean, like, it's cool to think about that sort of thing, but there are guys who have gotten signed and not really been able to make the most of it. So I just feel like right now, just building my own brand and becoming, you know, because of the guys I grew up on, again, like Hogan and Piper, and guys who like were big wrestling stars, but also became just big pop culture people.
Yeah,
that would be the ideal goal. Is just like, yeah, like, I want to become big in wrestling, but I also want to be able to do other cool things because of that and use it as kind of a springboard. But ultimately, obviously, I'd like to be, you know, successful in wrestling.
Yeah, man. Did you have a plan B when you first started training? Like when you first started, like, just in case this wasn't gonna work out. Like, did you have like a full-time job, just in case?
Honestly, when I first started wrestling wasn't even really plan A. I was just doing it just because I wanted to, because I was like, whatever, I was like 25 at the time, and I was like, let me just do it. You know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. And then, like, once I started doing it, once I was like, I don't know, 2-3 months in or whatever, I gradually over time took it more and more like seriously. It was something I wanted to do regularly. So no, I plan B. I mean, like, I went to, like, I have an associate's degree. I've worked like a million different jobs. So, like, I have skills in multiple areas, and I don't know. I guess my plan B would be to, I don't know, like, be a writer or something like that, because that's what I went to school for, and I actually enjoy writing a lot. That would be one of my other hobbies. I used to write a lot, but again, I don't anymore because I don't have time. But yeah, I used to write stuff. So
yeah, man, definitely. So what's the best advice someone gave you in wrestling advice?
So that like shifts over and over. I guess originally it was just go to a gym and get in shape, which I'm working on. Then later on, it was more kind of, I don't want to say like don't take advice, but like take advice sparingly, as far as like, because in wrestling you have a lot of guys who have been around for a while, but like they never really like did anything. Like, that's why being around like Pat and Brian all the time is great, because like Brian has been successful in wrestling. Pat has been successful in wrestling in his own way as a promoter and a trainer, and but there are other people who will give you completely unasked for advice, and you just have to like kind of like do a half nod and be like, okay, I appreciate you taking your time, but great, like just kind of like note it and move on. And then a few months ago, I was talking to another guy in wrestling, and he basically, this was like when I was like coming to the tail end of the CPA character's lineage, and he basically said like, when you stop caring so much about impressing everyone is kind of when it becomes fun. And I think I've taken that to heart, and it's been more fun now. Of course, there's not wrestling going on now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it has been more fun, like just creating character-related things where I'm not like worried about like, oh, who's gonna like this, who's not gonna like this. Like I'm just kind of doing what I want to do now.
Yeah, man, definitely. Do you prefer working as a heel or a babyface? I'm not sure if have you ever gone heel in Creative Pro? Shit, I don't think so, right?
Not in Creative Pro, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Outlaw Wrestling. They run in Brooklyn.
Yep, I heard of that.
Yeah, so I've pretty much always been heel there, and that's a lot of fun because the crowd is great, and they like react to everything, and I think they have a respected hatred for me, which is nice, I guess. I don't know if that's really what I should be going for, but through wrestling, through being a bad guy over there, it's actually made it more fun that I can kind of do both whenever I want.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work because I've tried to be heel at other places and they weren't really
Booing
they
you.
weren't really ready. They weren't ready to boo me, and I've tried to be good at places and they weren't ready to cheer me. So it's just kind of like, that's another thing I've learned, especially like in this downtime, is like just kind of like being able to roll with the punches instead of being like mentally stuck on what you think is going to happen or what you anticipate might happen. So yeah, I think whenever wrestling comes back, I'll be a little more like mentally prepared for things to not always go super great. Yeah, I like doing both.
Yeah, definitely, man. Why did you? This is a good. Why did you change over from CPA to Nick Stapp? Was it just like personal? Like you just wanted like a fresh restart or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I had things that I wanted to do that I felt like the CPA character had a ceiling to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. You can only go so far. Especially when I wrestled like primarily as a not very good funny guy wrestler for a while, and that's kind of what everyone took me as. And it's hard to break that stigma sometimes when that's all people want to see in you, I guess.
Yeah.
Is where this.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand, man. Julian, if you got any more wrestling questions before we do the Tucker Chin, Moshcast time.
Oh, no, I guess we can really go into it. I'm pretty much useless when it comes to this.
You know what? Starting next episode, you're on. Write a list of questions, for every episode.
Dang it. Oh, well, I know. Well,
Julian, just ask me any question that comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be a formatted question. I prefer free moving conversation. Ask me anything you could think of right off the top of your head.
Oh, ooh, doesn't even.
I haven't heard enough from you. I haven't heard enough from you today. I want to hear more from Julian.
Yeah.
No offense, but
Go for it.
I feel so special. It doesn't have to be wrestling related, correct?
No, anything. Just ask me a question. You're getting paid the big bucks, and you're not asking me any questions. Come on, man.
Okay. I guess. Favorite video games. I guess we could go there. What kind of video games?
I like that question. I have answers. So my favorite non-wrestling video game ever is GTA 3.
Ooh, nice.
I can literally open that game right now and play it from the beginning. I'm not a drive around, kill people, smash cars type of guy. I actually like playing the missions and the career mode, the story mode. I can literally start the story mode over again tomorrow and probably have the same amount of fun that I did, if not more, the first time I played it, because it's just, I never beat Vice City. I never beat San Andreas, but I beat GTA 3 because it just kept me, kept me hooked. And I feel like I felt like Vice City didn't really do the same thing for me. In San Andreas, I just spent the whole time trying to get the guy in like really, really like jacked diesel shape, and then I like forgot to play the game. And then my favorite wrestling game is, so I would say No Mercy, but I only actually got an N64 like 5 years ago, which I know sounds insane, but I just didn't have an N64. So I guess my favorite wrestling game ever would be SmackDown 4. It was really good. I also still really like Warzone and like WCW vs. the World. I'm really big fan of Tomb Raider 2.
Yes.
What else? I used to play like all these. It's not really a good game. It's actually kind of bad. Like it's kind of like a shitty game. But I liked playing Stuntman. Like it's really hard.
Yes, I love Stuntman.
Like it's impossible, but it's kind of fun in it's fun in like an annoying way. I'm trying. There's like, I don't know. There's games that like kind of stand out to me. so I literally I don't think I ever like learned how to actually play it correctly. But Fester's Quest I used to play when I was a kid for Nintendo. I don't think I ever did anything I was supposed to do in that game. It was just fun to just like run around as Uncle Fester. I don't know. I don't remember ever beating a level in that game. I just ran around and like had fun with it.
Yeah. What's yours, Mike?
What's my favorite video? GTA 5. That's a good one. Batman Arkham Knight. Still trying to beat that game. MLB The Shows always, and Madden's.
Oh, yeah, MLB 2K9 I really like, even though it's towards the end. Like I had the one for PlayStation 2, and it's like not very well made because they were just putting them out. Like they were putting more focus on the show. But I played that game literally like almost nonstop for like 2 years. So yeah, MLB 2K9 I forgot to add in there too.
Do you think they should bring back the 2K game, like the MLB 2K games, or because I think like just people need an Xbox, MLB game. That would be cool.
Yeah, I guess for that sake I would, but so why wouldn't the show be on like an Xbox, or is it? I don't have any modern wrestling, any modern video games. So I really wouldn't know.
Yeah, a show on the Xbox would be amazing. That would be very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Julian, go for it, man. You're on the spot.
Oh, yay. For me, when it comes to video games, I like a lot of different stuff. Like, I like a good story game. I like a good wrestling game. Like, I still have my PS2, and I got SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah.
And I got my Xbox 360. I got like a bunch of the SmackDown versus Raw games, but for non-wrestling games, I really enjoy like Red Dead Redemption. I enjoy Hitman, and stuff like that. I like a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more questions you got for us, Julian? Go for it. Or for Mr. Stapp.
Yeah. No, man. I guess we could go on to the music part of the.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, go on ahead, Mike. Take it away.
Hit us with your favorite bands, Mr. Stapp.
Or artists in general.
Was that?
Artists and bands.
Oh boy.
Creed.
Faith No More. God, there's so many. Faith No More, The Pogues, Frank Turner, Flogging Molly, Bad Brains. To prioritize them, like Alice in Chains, I love Nirvana.
Yes.
I really like Bone Thugs and Harmony, the Ghetto Boys. Again, it's hard for me to like. I really like so many bands. Oh, I like Brand New, Dashboard Confessional. I don't know. There's just so many.
I'll bring them up.
I really like Taylor Swift. Carly Rae Jepsen is great.
Julian, I'm gonna bring them up. Could I? How about Nickelback, Mr. Stapp?
I like Nickelback a lot.
Yes.
Nickelback and Creed are like two amazing bands. I don't really understand why people have to hate them other than like trying to be cool, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Nickelback is good. I mean, like, they're not my favorite. They're not even in like my close to like my top 50 favorite bands, but they're really good. So
yeah.
I don't know.
They're not even in my top 50, but as it goes with like not in my top 50 favorite artists, but for bands they probably would. But
yeah. Is there any like newer like metal stuff you like, Nick?
Or rock?
Oh yeah, or rock. Either one.
I don't even know what you'd consider new. Like, I don't.
I guess
a lot of the more modern. A lot of the more modern stuff I like is like indie-ish stuff that I'll hear on like Spotify. I don't know, like Jeff Rosenstock. I don't think that's really new, but he just came out with a new album, so I guess it counts as new. I don't know. I don't even know what's new. I don't know. Hold on. There's one band I heard recently that I liked. I can't think of what they're called. It's pass. I don't know. I honestly, I'd have to like have my Spotify playlist in front of me. I can't think of anything new that I'm like particularly into.
Breaking Benjamin?
Yes, they're good. Are they considered new? They've been around for a while.
They started in the 2000s, but they're still around now. So I guess like modern, like bands that are like started like post grunge and they're like now still back, like still together touring. Like that's what I meant.
It's like a Atreyu. Like,
yep. Like bands like that.
Atreyu. I like Breaking Benjamin's good. What else?
Stained.
Like I used to like System of a Down, but they kind of like sucked after the second album.
How dare you, sir?
Yikes.
This album, favorite album by them.
Maybe I'd have to hear it again. I remember hating it when I first heard it, but maybe I'll listen to it again.
Yeah, I mean it does take a while to get into, but the second album, Toxicity, my favorite album for sure.
It's great.
Okay. How about like Stained, like bands like that?
It was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count like Limp Bizkit in that, but Limp Bizkit is really good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Yes. Could you do your best Fred Durst impression?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit. 1999. Philip,
God.
we had a great conversation with Phil Cardigan over Limp Bizkit.
Really? I'm very curious to hear his opinions on Limp Bizkit.
Just wait for
We'll
it.
go subscribe to the Tuck Your Chin podcast so you can hear that.
And the Moshcast, because we'll be doing our first episode of the Durstcast with Philip Cardigan.
Yeah, no, you're not hallucinating, ladies and gentlemen. This is a real thing that's happening. The Durstcast.
I support it.
It's gonna be the funniest thing ever. It's just gonna like turn into all of us just talking like Fred Durst.
That's how we gotta start off the episode. Like, yeah, welcome to the Durstcast. It's 1999. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing you guys got to do is like the Chocolate Starfish song where he's like, fucked up world. Like you guys gotta have like pick up like your fucked up thing for the day. That's gotta be like a feature on the show. Like, what's your fucked up thing for the day? Be like, oh, I got my fucked up car or whatever. Like you gotta have like little side games.
Oh, okay.
That has to be a video episode, Mike.
Hey, we gotta get. It's gonna be a video episode because I want to see how fast Craig leaves.
Yeah.
That's another mini game during the episode.
For everyone that's watching the Tuck Your Chin podcast and has no idea who Craig is, we mentioned him on here before. He is one of our good friends who's also part of the Moshcast. So
he's not a big fan of Creed or Nickelback or Limp Bizkit or any of the bands we just listed.
Yeah, he loves all of them.
Oh. Yeah, man. Oh, fuck. Julian, if you got any more, hit him with it.
Ooh. Man, that... guess we could go favorite Limp Bizkit song?
Oh, yes.
And Together Now, the one with Method Man.
Okay. How about,
Definitely have Together.
favorite System of a Down song?
What's the what the hell is it? Why can't I'm like, Prison Song is great.
Okay.
Prison Song.
Dun, 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 dun. They're trying to build a prison. Yeah. Mike, have you heard that song?
I would say that's like one of the best, and like there's a lot of good like opening songs on albums. That's probably in like my top like 25 like best openers of albums ever.
Yeah. Do you like Tool or Deftones?
No, not really. I never got into Tool or Deftones. Actually, they both kind of Tool has like some good songs, but the songs are too long and they just kind of get like boring after a while. And Deftones are okay, but I don't know. I like when I was in high school, like Deftones were like that band that everyone was into. Like I knew like 4 people in high school that got like Deftones tattoos on them, and I just didn't get it. I still don't really get it.
I've been told Tool's overrated. I'm not sure how that possible. They're just cool, you know.
Understandable. I mean, I love Tool, but I can understand why a lot of people don't like them. But
yeah.
And I didn't really care for their last album, Fear Inoculum. It wasn't their greatest album, but it wasn't their worst.
Yeah.
It
was just.
But yeah, and I'm just picturing Nick Stapp like listening to Tool for the first time. Like after the 5th minute of the song, he's just like, I can't do this anymore.
The only time I listened to Tool and it was like a cool experience, we went to do laser tag when it was like right after one of their albums came out, and the guy who was running the laser tag place like let us play the Tool album while we were like laser tagging each other, and that was like a cool atmospheric thing. But other than that, I don't have any like Tool memories.
That's awesome. That is I wish the people at my laser tag place did that. Jeez.
I mean, all the shit they're playing today is fucking, garbage. Unfortunately.
Yeah, portion of it good. Some of it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, Mike, I'm gonna name some modern artists, and actually, you know what, Nick, let's do this. Mike usually does this with our guests, but let's name some artists, and Mike will give us his opinion on them.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Okay, you go first.
All right. Carly Rae Jepsen.
Call Me Maybe.
That's it?
They're just gonna name songs.
Yeah.
Okay. God, that's just a name I haven't heard in a long time, man.
Yeah.
I got Billie Eilish.
Ooh, I like her.
I'm a bad guy. Move on.
You don't have to name songs. You just give your opinion.
My bad. Oh, yeah.
Word association.
Or I'm a bad guy. Do 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 do.
Go for it, Nick.
You might not have heard of this guy, Wesley Willis.
Never heard of him.
I've heard of him. He's good.
Rock and Roll McDonald's. All right, just when we hang up, just go listen to Rock and Roll McDonald's, and you'll understand why it's great.
Okay.
Rock and Roll McDonald's.
All right.
It's a modern classic.
Yes. Soundgarden.
Love them.
Love Soundgarden.
Love Christina. Rest in peace. Loser. What?
No, Weezer.
Underrated.
I wouldn't say that.
Julian, remember, my opinion.
Some temperature.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think Weezer's kind of overrated.
Oh, cool. Julian.
God, I'm going to get slaughtered for making fun of Weezer. But honestly, their last couple albums have been garbage.
Yeah, I feel like after Maladroit, it kind of like went off the cliff a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Especially that last one, the Black album.
I heard a snippet of it, and it was just, it wasn't even music.
And the Teal album was just covers. And they only have
that Africa cover.
Oh my God, the Africa cover
sucks. Actually, I gotta head out in a minute, but I have one funny story to leave you off on since we're talking about Weezer.
Oh, go for it.
So, at Outlaw Wrestling last year, I had a match with Matt Striker, and he comes out to Africa by Toto, the original version. So I came out to the ring first, and I was just, doing a little song and dance, talking shit to the crowd, whatever. He came out, and, like, it's mostly like a, like, late 20s, early 30s crowd there. It's all, like, people around my age who are just, like, drunk and, like, want to hear, like, they all wanted to hear the chorus of Africa. So, like, right when it got up to the chorus, I grabbed the mic and I told him to shut this shit off. And, like, I thought I was going to get shot, honestly. Like, it was that kind of reaction. And then I said, we all know the Weezer version is better anyway. And everyone was like, fuck you! So, that was one of my proud improv moments. And actually, that match in and of itself spawned like a rivalry between Matt Striker and I at Outlaw Wrestling. So it was one of those good moments.
Yeah, if you have to head out, just quickly plug your social media and all that. And your podcast. I know you do a podcast too, so go for that.
So I'll start with the podcast. I am on Off the Hop Rope podcast. We drop an episode every Thursday. We pair the perfect craft beer with the perfect wrestling match. So, for instance, in case you're a little confused by that, I don't know what kind of fan base you guys have. I don't know if you guys have drinkers or whatever. So, like, for instance, the first episode we ever did was Blood of the Unicorn, which is a beer by Ironworks Brewery in Chicago, I think. We mixed Blood of the Unicorn with the Stone Cold Steve Austin Bret Hart match from WrestleMania 13, where Stone Cold bleeds a lot. So Blood of the Unicorn, blood, get it, great. It's me, Smart Mark Sterling, and Top Shelf Troy Nelson. We talk about wrestling, we talk about our lives, but then ultimately we pair some crazy craft beer that I've never heard of before. And the reason I'm on the show is because I am at heart a very basic bee when it comes to the type of beer I drink. So I drink Miller Lite and stuff like that. But because of that, I was kind of recruited to be on this podcast with my two friend beer connoisseur people who are into all the crazy craft beers that, have hops and, all these weird measurements and IBUs. So yeah, we put out an episode every Thursday. We just put out one today, and actually we had a special guest on the show, indie wrestling legend Mike Quackenbush, owner of Chikara Wrestling, on, and he was a great guest. So I don't know, when do you guys put this out?
We do Thursdays and Fridays, so this will probably be a Thursday episode.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, go back. After you're done listening, go back to last week, we'll listen to the Mike Quackenbush episode, and then next week we have someone on, I think it's a friend of the show. We also have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. Just go to Off the Hop Rope on Pro Wrestling Tees. However, I am the star of the show here today. Not really. You can find me on the World Wide Web on social media at NickStapp. I tweet a lot. I post a lot of silly stuff. I have a Pro Wrestling Tees store also. I just came out with a fun Taking Back Sunday parody shirt a few weeks ago that has been selling really well, and you should get your hands on one. I don't have anything coming up because there's nothing happening. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter, and I literally tell you what I'm doing because I have nothing else to do with my time currently.
Thanks, Nick Stapp. Peace out, dude.
Thanks for having me, guys. Sorry it took so long to get me here. Life is kind of insane right now, and I'm currently in the process of moving, so sorry.
Yeah, hey, it's all good.
But thank you for having me.
No problem.
I had a good time. And hey, Julian, if you need any questions, I'll send you some good questions. Julian started off hot with the overdrive question. I was like, all right, Julian's got the good questions. And then that was it. Like, bro, that was such a good question to start off with. And then you were like, that's all I got. I'm like, come on, man. You can't just get me all excited and then say I got nothing else after. I'm like, that was a great question.
Hey.
Yeah, I definitely make like a little format of questions for our guests.
Yeah.
For both.
If anything, I would say the overdrive question should be the closer because that was such a great question, and it's mostly a great question because the overdrive was kind of a weird like inside joke with some of the Cap guys. So that's why I thought that someone told you to ask me that.
Oh no!
Like which wrestler did you think?
I figured, because I know you guys had like Bryce Donovan on recently, so I figured maybe he would have clued you in on it.
Oh no! He just said that the overdrive might end his career.
Of
Fair.
course,
Fair
he didn't.
He called Julian Baskin because he wanted to kill Bobby Jr.
He played a FMK with all the Shook crew members, and I chose to kill Bobby Orlando
Oh,
because of the goat.
Bobby's definitely the marryable one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Julian, you want to go for it?
Sorry, I was going to say, like, now that I think about it, Bryce is definitely the one to kill. Anyway,
Go for it,
Bryce, if you're watching this, don't watch this because I know you'll kill me.
Go for your outro, man.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Nick Stapp, thank you so much for joining us today on the Tuck Your Chin podcast. And like Mike said in the beginning of the episode, it is indeed the fastest rising podcast in all of pro wrestling. And, thank you for watching. I've said that a billion times, but I just like saying thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. This is a great outro, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow all of us. Go follow Nick Stapp on all of the social medias, and go listen to his podcast. Go follow Mike. Go follow me on my Instagram at HeavyMetalJoker_HOH. It has changed. And, go follow Mike Shift. And also, go follow this other account. We are trying very, very desperately to get it big. The Mike Shift Spam account. Follow him. Don't really. Follow him. And, go subscribe to the Moshcast. Go subscribe to all our other friends' podcasts, like Canvas Critique, Chord Progression, and our good friend Nick Stapp's podcast. What was the name of that podcast again?
I'm going to...
God damn it, I just fucking to off the hop rope.
Again, I'm bad at this. But
You guys didn't read my Wikipedia page before I came on? What the hell?
Hey, I know... Off the hop rope. I got it. I'll plug it.
Hot Rope
Thank you.
podcast, where they drink adult beverages and talk about wrestling and watch wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Again, thank you. And as always, I'm able to do my outro today because my voice is a lot better. Okay. I'm too busy laughing. Give me a second.
Whenever you're ready.
Mike, you do your outro. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Well, boys, girls, and all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching the Tuck Your Chin podcast, as always. Follow us, subscribe, like, comment, hit that post notification bell so you never miss an upload. Go follow Julian, go follow all the members, go follow especially Nick Stapp on Instagram. I'll put his Instagram in the bio, in the description, whatever it's called, and the Off the Hop Rope podcast's Instagram in the bio too. And don't forget to keep tucking your chin, guys, and hopefully Julian can do his outro now, or finish it.
Thank you.
Oh. Keep tucking your chin, guys. Peace.